just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Packer Up Boys. And I've got to be quick here. Got to be quick. There's about 40 bloke shirts left. And look at Shandor's head. There is, right now as we're speaking, by the time this is out, they could be gone. There's literally 10 of them left. There's 10 of them left. Once these are gone, guys, that's the green and gold gone. The hoodies went. The jackets went in like 2 seconds. So hopefully we can remedy that going forward. We didn't realise how popular the jackets would be. Holy shit. But the hats, there's literally 10 left right now. And there's only like 40 of these T-shirts left. Once the green and gold are gone, that's it. We will not be doing this green and gold version of the bloke shirt. Maybe ever, honestly. At least for a couple of years. So make sure to head to bloke.shop, grab some merch. But anyway, how you been, boys? What's been going on?
What's going on, bruvs?
Not much, man. Yourself?
Nah, mate, just chipping away. Life's good.
Life's good.
Can't complain.
What's the week been like?
Mate, what's the week been like? Pretty flat out. Back into the grind, back into the studio, enjoying some nice weather out at Rouse Hill as well.
Yeah, okay. Grouse Hill.
Yeah, Grouse Hill. But no, life's good, brus.
Matty, how you been, mate?
It's good. It's a good time of year because I know I say that a lot, but after Origin, which is the best time of year.
When you win.
When you win, yes. But when you're in and amongst it as a fan, but then when it finishes, you can kind of be friends with Queenslanders again, which is so nice. And that is, and the Olympics being a week after Origin
best year ever.
Makes it even better because
rolling into this Olympics is so sick.
Oh, it's been great because we've hated each other for like 6 or 8 weeks. But now we're all united again. So it's a great time.
Look, that sounds like a bitter New South Welshman. I wasn't even thinking of it from that perspective. I'm thinking of it from the perspective of, like, we're rolling straight into hectic content. Like, hectic sport. He's focused on hating Maroons, which is typical, very typical. Whereas I'm focused on the fact that we've got, like, a mad sporting events. Like 100 metres, swimming.
Yeah.
The rugby, the men's sevens in their first ever semi-finals.
Yeah.
First ever semi-finals.
That's so sick.
And we got plenty of Aussie athletes this year that could go all the way. Could literally, the target I think is 17, and we're actually gonna get a.
There's a board just over there.
There it is. This is the chalkboard. This will be counting the medals as the games go. They officially start tonight.
Yeah, I think the opening ceremony
is tonight.
Is tonight/tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow morning.
Yeah, 14 hours is the opening ceremony. So, yeah, tonight.
What is it? So it's about...
How about the medals?
No, that'll be tomorrow.
Sorry, 2 a.m.
So Saturday, our time.
Yep.
Friday, their time.
Boom.
How good. How good. I tell you what, though, in regards to, like, literally the worst space on Earth that flips our time zones is, like, the middle of Europe, pretty much. Torture. 4 o'clock. I wanted to do some live streams, and we may still do some. The only thing that sucks is, like, if we do live streams, I've got to drive all the way into Alexandria from Cronulla, whereas it's like far out, getting up at like 3:30 to get in here at around 4 o'clock. That's a tough gig. Whereas if I was living still around the corner, I was literally used to live walking distance, like so close.
I nearly sent you the dumbest text of all time yesterday. I'm so glad I didn't. I was going to suggest, why don't we because I think there's a couple of like golds going like Monday morning. So I was like, why don't we do Monday morning? Then we can like do the Monday show straight away. And then it clicked to me that then you'd be podcasting for like 14 hours straight.
I was coming in Monday morning because that's when the swimming will be the finals.
Yeah.
Because the swimming heats are Saturday night, which is mad. At 7 o'clock. That's the heats. 7 o'clock our time.
Olympic potty marathon, 24 hours. The boys just locked in the studio.
Yeah, but so you would have been saying, let's come in Monday at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
Watch the thingos and then do a whole friggin' day worth of podcasting.
Yeah, that was my idea.
So unfortunately, I can't do that. So we're going to try. We're going to try as hard as we can to do some kind of live streaming. It's just obviously the time. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Jeez, that's a heavy lift. Like, I would rather it be 2 in the morning because you could just stay up then and watch till 4 and then go to bed. Whereas like the 3 o'clock wake up to get in here,
it's tough.
It's a big lift.
So when you say 4, like that's when the main stuff's on. Like it's going all night.
Pretty much, like that's when the gold races are on for the finals will start. I think at 4 o'clock on Monday morning.
Yeah, and I think the females are on the Tuesday, like 4 o'clock as well.
Yeah, so it's pretty much for the swimming. You're looking at 4 a.m. in the morning, Monday, Tuesday for the finals. But there will be other events that you will be able to track and be like, maybe 11 o'clock at night or whatever. So we'll keep you posted for that. And also, guys, massive thank you to our friends at Sportsbet. Here is the bloke multi for this week for the Paris Games. Warbrick anytime. Titmus, she is the 400-meter freestyle gold medalist. Jess Fox in the K1, she gets gold. And the Boomers to beat Spain in basketball, that'll get you $5. That's right. Ooh. So Warbrick anytime, Titmus to win the gold, Jess Fox to win the gold, the Boomers to beat Spain, that'll get you $5. That's the bloke multi. Get around it. I'm gonna put it on my feed. So go to my feed. Make sure to give us a follow, guys. Actually had a meeting with Sportsbet just recently. Talked about content this year and how we can be better and how we can create more content for you. Like for example, the content of me crying because Queensland lost, all that kind of stuff. But also they were really, really appreciative of how much the bloke community has gotten behind me and bloke on the feed, guys. So thank you so much for all the support. It genuinely, in those kind of meetings, it just makes it so much better for the partnership to flourish and grow. So thank you for that, guys. Another sports bet market, the NRL sprinters. The fastest NRL players are grouped into heats, and whoever scores the most tries wins the heat. Heat 1, Darwin, Tesnier, Lesniak, Buller, Gutho, and Paps. That's $4.50. Heat 2, Cobbo, Crichton, and that's Stephen Crichton, Holmes, Mulatalo. That's $4.30. That's Heat 2. Heat 3, Young, Saab, Lomax, and To'o. That's $2.95. That's Heat 3. Heat 4, Hammer, Khan Pereira, Savage, and AJ. That's $2.70. There's also plenty of other betting options on the NRL Sprinters section. So go, there's heaps of fun, guys. Heaps of fun with heaps of multi with the Paris Games going. Head to Sportsbet, enjoy yourself. And just want to say once again, thank you so much for following me on the feed, guys. It really, really does help. And yeah, get around the bloke in the bar multi. They're always the best. But yeah, the Olympics are here. Australia, they're into the semi-final the first time, beating USA this morning 18-0. I think the big victory Australia had in their round, obviously USA is big and decent, but I think Samoa, they beat yesterday, which was
20. Yeah, that was, we won that 21-14.
Yep.
Beat Kenya, and
Kenya are pretty decent, but I think Samoa is the one that is the most important beat for us.
Well, I mean, we've never been to a semi-final before. We're still
so good.
We're still pretty heavy outsiders. Fiji being the favourites, but
they're so good to watch. Fiji, some of their tries, holy
ridiculous.
What about the Springboks beat the All Blacks?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, so good. That's what it puts into perspective though. The Australians women's winning gold in Rio shows you how incredible that was when our men's had never made a semi-finals. Think about that. Our men's had never made a semis, and our women winning gold in Rio 2016.
And sevens isn't a lock either. Even if you go up against a favourite, anything can happen. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, 100%. You one or two errors, boom, game's over. Oh, disclaimer. Been seeing a couple of comments lately. And look, I get it. I totally get it. You're used to bloke content, so you come here on a Friday and you are like, why are they speaking about random stuff for the first hour? Packer Up Boys was started, and OGs know this, but there's obviously a lot of new listeners as well as we grow. Packer Up Boys was started as a show where we can speak about anything. And matter of fact, it was so much so we weren't supposed to be speaking about rugby league. So it was genuinely started as a show that was not about rugby league, but because we're such fucking diehards, we end up speaking about it anyway. So I apologise if you're a new listener and you've come in and you've been like, why on Packer Up Boys they speak about random stuff? That's what this show was set up to be, is just speak about a bunch of random stuff that we enjoy. So for example, I've seen some comments go, why do you always speak about rap and you don't speak about other music? It's because I enjoy rap. I don't listen to country music. I don't listen to much other music other than rap, pop, and R&B really. So this podcast is more just about us speaking about our interests or what we've come across. I will say though, for a bloke that 10 years ago used to hate country music, and I don't know, what's weird is I don't know why I hated it so much. I look back and I'm like, what did country music ever do to you? And yet now I am starting to warm to it a little bit.
Really?
Well, I think it's becoming a bit more mainstream. And what's ironic is I'm sure there's some diehard country fans out there that are pissed off by the fact that country music is becoming a bit pop. Like friggin' Beyonce, she almost released like a semis country whole album. Post Malone, he's becoming a bit country. Then you've got, I think Shabuzi, his name is. He's a country singer now. He's at the top of the charts. So yeah, what we speak about on a Packer Up Boys is just what we're enjoying in the pop culture kind of zeitgeist, guys. So if you're not interested, totally understandable. But just know that that's the first hour. Or sometimes it chops and changes, but it's more just about what we want to talk about. But being diehards, we're always going to talk about footy. Matildas went down to Germany 3-0.
Germany are good, eh?
I tell you, bloody oath, they are underrated. No, they're underrated to people that don't know football, and I would consider myself as someone that doesn't know football anymore because I just haven't followed it anymore. But people don't know how people would who's the best football nations? They would say like Italy and Brazil and your England's, your France's even, but like Germany are right up there.
Gun.
They're gun. But I will say it is interesting. If the Matildas don't have a good series, and granted they do have injuries. But if they don't have a good series, they've felt the trajectory of like on the way up, everyone getting around you, like Australia, the Matildas, everyone loves the Tillies, go the Tillies, go the Tillies. If they have a bad Olympics, there are so many people that are waiting for that to happen.
So true.
Because it pissed them off that everyone got on the Matildas bandwagon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Because there was a period there where everyone loved the Matildas. And then so there was a certain amount of people that were like, fuck the Tillies. Everyone keeps talking about them. I'm sick of talking about them. So if they do start playing poorly, that they will be really loud. But also there'll be people that, do follow the Tillies will be disappointed because they've set themselves a standard as well. So it'll be interesting to see.
They got a... who's next?
Zambia?
Yeah, and then they got US.
They should beat Zambia. US will be fucking tough. I mean, they probably shouldn't beat the US.
Nah.
But I think it's the fact they lost 3-0 to Germany.
Not good for the...
Could you check Germany's
for and
rankings,
against.
please?
Yep.
Because I think heading into this, the Tillies were ranked 12th in the world. And that's the thing with the World Cup. Don't get me wrong. The World Cup, you can go back and watch. I was all on board what they achieved. It was incredible. They ended up coming 4th. They were ranked 10th heading into that game, that World Cup. So although it was definitely an improvement of where they were, and it was an incredible moment, and we all enjoyed it, we're not talking about like the Tillies are good, and they have been good. It's more, I think, just a lot of people noticed how good they were for them to come 4th in the World Cup.
Yeah, so the Tillies are ranked 12th and Germany's ranked 4th.
4th.
Yeah,
And USA are 5th.
Yeah.
Who's first?
It goes Spain, France, England, Germany, USA.
Because didn't Spain win the World Cup? They won the World Cup, I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah.
So the Tillies
Yeah, they did.
have actually gone a bit backwards since the World Cup. And I think the thing is, I don't think people expected them to beat Germany. Maybe they did. And I'm sure there's football listeners that will know more than me. But it's just a 3-0. 3-0. When you come 4th at the World Cup and then get pumped 3-0 against a team like you came 4th and they're currently ranked 4th, you would hope we would do a little better. Granted, we are missing essentially our best player in Sam Kerr. But as I said, it's going to be interesting. The last time that the Matildas were in our zeitgeist as like a mainstream, it was all love.
Yeah.
It was all love. And so this time, if they struggle, they'll have to deal with, like, that's what being a professional team is. When you're going good, everyone loves you. But the higher you climb, the further the fall is down. To the public anyway, not to the girls.
Around 'em.
So hopefully they'll beat, is it Zambia, did you say?
Yeah.
They'll beat them, surely.
Who was your football team you followed when you were growing
It was
up, bruh?
Man United growing up.
Yeah, same.
Loved David Beckham. Loved David Beckham. But yeah, I actually, Matt, as soon as I left school, I stopped watching any soccer.
Do you ever have his Bruce, bro? You remember those mad predators?
No, I couldn't afford them.
Kangaroo level?
Couldn't afford them. I'd be really jealous of all the guys in the state team and that would have the Beckham boots, and I always had hand-me-downs. So I was always just like, fucking rich kids. Fucking got the mad predators. So I don't think I ever actually got them, which is crazy. And then eventually going to Brisbane, going to footy, I became a Nike man because Nike was with the Broncos. And then ever since then, I've always been a Nike man. Always been a Nike man.
There's something about Nike, isn't there? Like I was at a podcast I listened to about the like how they started. It's just the story of Nike is just so fascinating.
I just reckon Nike's design is just better. I just reckon their stuff always looks better than other brands.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's cooler for sure.
In saying that, I always used to love the Predator look.
Yeah,
like those Predator
mad.
boots are hectic, and also like sometimes when it comes to design, maybe Nike looks pretty good, but sometimes comfortability, like there are other parts of other shoes that are good as well. Like I don't think there's one brand that's the best in everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
like
an Adidas man.
if I'm buying running shoes, I'll buy Asics.
Like that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably because they're more comfortable.
Way more comfortable.
Yeah.
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 If
so-
I got injured, bro, I'd change brands.
Really?
Yeah.
No
so like I
way.
was a diehard Adidas man, and even you say like, God bless my mum. I don't know how she did it. I'm humble beginnings, housing commission, but she got me the $350 kangaroo leathers.
No way.
Legend, best.
That
But then
is
I went to
mad.
Nike, went to the Mercurial Vapors, the real light ones. You feel fast as fuck. But then I tore my ACL, gone. Went to Asics.
You're probably too big for the Mercurials.
Yeah.
I don't think you've got to be pretty light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I went to Asics for a long time. I was like safe,
Yep.
felt good, injury free.
Big, wide base.
ACL gone. Then it was Adidas again, and then I was just boot slut, whoever was throwing them at me. So Puma.
No way. That's crazy. So get injured and change your boots.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I mean, I've told this story quite a while, but like we used to, for sprinting, my parents used to tell us, oh, you're not old enough for spikes. You're not old enough for spikes. And we would believe them because they'd be like, oh, they tell us these stories of like, oh, your muscles haven't developed enough and it's actually really bad for you. Even though the other kids in the races had the spikes and the tight and that. So there was a thing called Condy's Crystals, and it was this purple water that we used to bathe our feet in before state, and it would harden the soles of our feet. And so we would run on tartan with strapped up feet, no shoes.
Hey, so
Yeah.
you were running the state with no spikes?
Yeah.
When everyone else had them?
Yeah, there's a picture of my brother winning state with kids with spikes next to him. He's got no shoes on.
They reckon it's good, though, to run barefoot.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it worked. I don't know. But yeah, so Condy's Crystals is this perfect stuff, purple stuff, and it made your feet all purple. And I remember my brother was the first one to ever get some spikes. It was my dad went on a business trip to Kuala Lumpur, and so he got them for real cheap. And so he wore them, and then eventually he handed them down to me, and I got to wear them.
There'd be a lot of people out there who would never run on a track with spikes. Do yourself a favour. Just go buy some spikes, and you feel amazing.
You feel like you're Usain Bolt.
Literally.
Like, seriously. So yeah, every state champion stuff and that we'd because like leading up to state back in the day, you would only be running on grass tracks. So running on bare feet on grass, it's fine. But yeah, when you got to state, you would at QE2 you would run on the tartan, and that's the Condy's Crystals. There was this purple water. You'd bathe it in for like 30 minutes or whatever. It would harden the bottom of your sole, and then you'd tape your foot.
Bro, I was so superstitious. Like, fuck, I used to let all that shit rattle me, I remember I was big on underwear for some reason. And one game, I forgot my undies, and I had to get my mate to drive to Cogra Oval, pass them through the fence just before warm-up.
Oh, my God.
I had to wear. That's how bad it was, bro. And then when I came back to the side, I was like, nah, let's just cut it out. You got to get rid of it. Forget all superstitions and just fucking. So
That's
finally
funny.
got rid of it.
No way.
Shower gel, like whatever I did, and I had the good game. I was like, all right, I got to emulate that.
No way. No
Still
way. Alrighty, algo check, boys. Let's get your phones out. What's the algorithm looking like?
I'll go first. I've been like all about the Olympics this week, obviously. And I was watching the Kathy Freeman interview on my thing, and then it just turned into Kathy Freeman race, and then it pretty much been going cycling through all the great Aussie Olympic moments at the moment, which is like you got Thorpe's 200 meter win in Sydney, Thorpe's the medley in Sydney, Sally Pearson. I've just been cycling through that.
Sally Pearson. We used to share lifts together to training.
Oh really?
Yeah, growing up. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. But yeah, it's been great because there's nothing better than for me anyway. I love just sitting back and watching old stuff.
Yeah,
it's been good.
Olympic algo. What about yourself?
Yeah, mine's been a bit Olympic heavy, but more basketball. I'm on the USA Dream Team, just following them.
Oh, nice.
I'm keen to, I don't know, just something about bringing the team together and all the LeBron chat. So that's been good. But if you know me or you don't know already, you might have seen on my Instagram, I don't have a working TV. So my TV is just like there for decoration.
Oh, no way.
I was sick of sitting here and you boys talking about Netflix. So I jumped on Netflix. Have you boys watched Rebel Moon?
No.
Right, it's good.
It's good.
It's actually bad.
You know what's hilarious about that is it's like got smashed by critics.
Did it?
Yeah,
Bro, I love
like that
it.
it's terrible.
I reckon
You
it's
love
bad.
it? You know what? I'll give it a try.
Give it a try, Ruz. And then there's a part 2 if you get real keen and excited about it, just
Okay.
roll straight in.
Roll straight in. So you've gone back to
Just
back.
double hit it.
You've gone back to
I
back.
didn't. I had to wait. I watched it and then I had to wait 6 months. Genuine excitement.
What is it?
It's just like a sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi.
Similar like
Lot
Star
of
Wars.
action.
Kinda.
Yeah, right.
Hero's journey. Get it right.
That's funny. That is so funny. Matter of fact, we got some breaking news, guys. The Canadian women's football manager, Bev Priestman, has been sent home from Paris after more drone revelations. Canadian head coach Bev has been sent home after the team was caught using a drone to spy on New Zealand. Canada Soccer revealed more information had arisen of drone use by the team in tournaments before this
Shut
Olympics.
up.
So Bev has been
It's a
caught.
second offence.
She was sitting there. What?
That's unreal.
Imagine getting caught.
Like, what I don't get with that is like, what could you possibly learn that is so hectic that's going to make you win the game?
That's unheard of. Has that been done before?
Yeah, I mean, surely. I mean, a drone. I haven't heard of a drone, but didn't the Patriots get done in the NFL?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, they
looking
did
at-
too.
Yeah.
Was another like play. Look, I could kind of get in the NFL if you were trying to work out like what plays. I could get that because it's such a static game. Like if you in the NFL, if you know what play is coming, you can obviously defend it. Whereas like in a non-static game like soccer and footy and that, like
Yeah.
how does it?
It'd be so good if the story is like she's got the content creator set up, taken over the drone remote, and she's just flying it, and they've caught her. Oh, that's the story I'm going to go with in my head.
That's crazy. A drone, like in soccer, I just don't.
Send
Like, what
home
would
for
you
drone
learn?
spawn.
Yeah.
What could you learn with the drone to like that would help you win? Just crazy.
That's so funny, but like, what a great story. That's so funny.
How embarrassing though.
So embarrassing.
Oh, imagine like, hey, want to speak to you for a sec, and then going, did you fly a drone over New Zealand? No, didn't. We've got some evidence here that you did. No, I didn't. How long do you reckon she denied it for? Until she saw the video of the actual drone?
I
Just her
wonder.
flying it.
I wonder how many people were in on it, or if she just went rogue.
They would all be in on that. You don't just rogue that. Jesus.
Yeah, it's got to have a accomplice.
Surely. Oh, my God.
That's funny.
It's the best.
Yeah, my algo has just been Olympic stuff. Just Olympic stuff. A little bit of the US presidential race
Yeah.
with Biden dropping
Oh, yeah,
out.
dropping out too.
That's smashed my algo a bit with Camilla Harris becoming
I mean, it
put
got to
herself
the
forward as a
point, wasn't
nominee.
it, where the man was just incoherent. Didn't make sense.
Insane. How weird is it that like we care this much about America's politics?
Yeah.
When like we don't give a shit about any other country's
You
politics.
don't hear nothing about it.
Like, I mean, we care to a degree, like when something bad's happening, but when it comes to just like who the next president is of that country, like we don't care. But
Did you
America,
see
for some reason,
the court hearing for the what do you call it? Secret Services. The lady who runs it.
she had
Bro,
to
she
step
got
down.
hammered.
Yeah, of course she did.
Oh, hammered.
Anyway, so that's there. Algo there, House of the Dragon, massive algo there, and also finished a show called Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal on Apple TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bloody good. Pretty good. Finished that last night. So that's what the algo is. Guys, the World Cup still on the international theme. Australia has been selected to host the nation to be the host nation for the 2026 World Cup. A number of games will be co-hosted by PNG. This was a World Cup that was meant to be held in France in 2025, but newly elected government withdrew support. They probably withdrew support because they spent all the money on the bloody the Olympics
And the Rugby World Cup last year.
and the rugby.
That's a loss.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much money they like. Did the Rugby World Cup generate profit for them? Because it looked like it was hectic.
Yeah.
And apparently this is the greenest Olympic Games ever, where they haven't built anything really for.
yeah?
They've built a little bit for it, but haven't gone crazy and building all this infrastructure and they've basically tried to do it as cheaply and as little as impact on the city as possible.
It was time for that. Seriously, after looking at some of the Athens ones and Rio, it was time to building a whole basically new city for the Olympics
deserted, eh?
is just
It's
outdated.
bizarre.
It's outdated.
What I don't get with that is surely, and I guess there would be logistic problems, but going forward, just get multiple nations to get it together. As in, let's say France and Italy. I know the France have got it this year, and France are a huge country, so they could probably handle it. But if you're trying to sell it to smaller countries that don't have the infrastructure, just spread out the games to a degree.
Why can't you spread it out within the country as well? If Australia, Brisbane are getting it right, why couldn't you just have the whole country have it?
Well, I think that comes down to state governments saying, no, I don't want to put money into that shit. And so the Prime Minister would probably have to do it, and the governments would be like, no. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I
So
understand.
if
yeah.
Queensland we're keen, and New South Wales we don't want it.
Yeah,
and then
true.
all of a sudden you just can't get the games. But I think going forward for Olympics, you just gotta do what Paris have done. It's a bit on the cheap and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff,
for
but use existing stuff.
100%.
Building stuff and just leaving it there. Anyway, the Rugby World Cup. Look, it's good from a perspective of like, we get to go and watch the matches. It's in Australia. The turnouts will be better. Obviously, it hurts a little bit the growth of the exposure of the game into other countries. But as I said, at the same time, at the end of the day, rugby league is an Australian sport, pretty much. Australia, New Zealand. So, like, if you're not worried about exposure, it's the best place to have it. Like, it really is the best place to have it.
Oh, absolutely. I like the 2017 World Cup. The highlight was probably when they filled out. Was it in Tonga or was it in Auckland? Wherever it was, where all the Tongans.
I'm pretty sure it was New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah, that was like the absolute highlight.
Tonga versus England.
Yeah. And obviously we're not going to get that, but because since then the growth of all the Pacific nations has just skyrocketed.
The only thing that I've read that I think that they're reducing it from 16 teams to 10 teams.
Yeah.
That's where I know, like,
Do you think the World Games are fantasy, bro?
Well, you've got to try.
Yeah.
Because if you're not trying, you're not growing. Like, you got to at least try. And also, like, there has been growth. Like, there's absolutely been growth, overseas. But also, what I don't like about that, I hope they haven't listened to people going, oh, there's too many blowouts and all that shit. Like, who cares if there's blowouts? It's about guys, like, for example, how many Italians, whether it's like, let's say you've got even an Italian population in Australia, or a Lebanese, we'll say Lebanese population in Australia that doesn't usually engage with football, right, league. They actually usually engage with soccer, because obviously soccer's bigger in Lebanon. But because the Lebanon side's in the World Cup, they start watching the game. Yeah. There's a bit of success, and they start getting around it. And so I hope they haven't reduced it to 10 teams because of the argument of, oh, there was too many blowout scores. It's not about the blowout scores. It's about exposure. It's about other countries going, oh, my team's in this. How good. Like, it's like, for example, the Olympics. Like, I would never watch hockey usually.
Yep.
But if it's around the time I'm watching something and I see the Australian team playing, I'll watch hockey. And maybe I might really enjoy it, you know? And so I wonder why they've reduced it to 10, because I don't like that. I like the fact that who did we have last time? Was it Jamaica?
Yeah, Jamaica were
that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I think we had Ireland. Remember Luke Keary played for Ireland?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was fun. Like, I know they get pumped, but like, at least they get exposure to it. Like, so I hope they haven't changed it for that reason.
I was looking at, slightly off topic, but I was looking at random international games recently, and there was a game, Greece versus Hungary, and Braithen Astor scored like 52 points by himself.
It's mad.
It was so good.
And so, like, yeah, when people focus on, oh, this NRL player scored this many points or this blowout, that's not the fucking point. The point is exposure to these countries. I was actually watching a YouTube video. I forgot what the dude's name is. Like Lee guys, Rugby League guys. Anyway, and he was talking about how he grew up in Europe, and the Netherlands, when he started in 2016, there was 2 teams in the Netherlands, rugby league teams, within an hour of each other. Apparently there's like 6 rugby league teams in the Netherlands now, all across the country.
What?
Yeah, and there's also a women's game in the Netherlands now. And also they went up the rankings, they were like ranked 11th or something like that at one stage.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like...
See, those are the opportunities that are...
That's what I'm saying. Like, look, granted, we're not sitting here saying that it's going to be a world game tomorrow, but at the same time, like 2 to 6, women are getting involved. Like, that's a win.
Feels like 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, so I don't know. As I said, I'd love to know their reasoning for it, and maybe they have released a... Could you double check
I'll
16 to 10 and whether they've commented on the fact they've reduced it? But I tell you what, though, like, teams like Samoa and Tonga have got like Katoa. Samoa have got Luai now.
It's going to be some competitive games, though.
And the Kiwi side looking fucking... Oh, wow. Jerome Hughes, essentially the best 7 in the game right now, form-wise. Dylan Brown at 6. Jeremy Marshall... I think Marshall King's out for a bit. But if he gets back, like, their forward pack, Leota Fisher-Harris, a record win against Australia last time, like, man, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. Like, obviously, they'll play each other before then, but... I cannot wait. The games in PNG will be hectic as well.
So crazy.
So good. Don't forget, guys, Tom Travojevic is our Menulog hungriest player. Use code TURBO for free delivery this week. Minimum order is $30, so use code TURBO for free delivery this week. And also, KO, you can watch every game live and ad break free during play on KO from round 24. Broncos games are exclusive to Fox League. From now until round 24, apologies. Available on KO, so don't miss them this weekend to take on the Bulldogs. And I mean, obviously there's heaps of rugby league on KO, but this weekend, Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad.
Yep. I can't wait for that.
And Tom Espinal versus...
Espinal, yep.
Who's he versus again?
Blades, is it Curtis?
Curtis. And they fought, actually have already fought each other before.
Yeah.
And Blades won, didn't he?
Yeah. And then you got Pimblett and Green.
So, yeah, you got Aspinall versus Blades. You got Green versus Pimblett. Duncan Rodriguez. Allen versus Chikaz. And obviously you've got Edwards versus Bilal. So you can buy that exclusively on KO as well. Have you got anything on there?
Yes, so it's buried right at the end, but it says this is part of a quote. The condensed format at the Rugby League World Cup will mean every single match is competitive.
That sucks. I don't like that. Because you know what? It might not be. You know what? Australia and New Zealand might fucking pound everyone.
You know what? The best rugby league upset I've ever seen in my life, and please go Google this, was the the Rugby League World Cup in 2017 women's game. England were playing Cook Islands. I remember looking at the betting markets for the game. You couldn't even bet on England because Cook Islands were just so, never going to win. And Cook Islands ended up winning at Shark Park, and I was there. I was like, it was the biggest upset I'd ever seen in my life. So the opportunity for that to happen is no more.
I don't like that. I mean, I just... Because, okay, what incentive? Let's say you're a team that was ranked 18th heading into this, World Cup. And you've been working and all these volunteer hours have been put in. Because that's the thing is, all these international rugby league, organisations, they're ran by volunteers. And so you're ranked 18th heading from last World Cup. You missed it by 2 rankings or whatever. And then so you know what? For the next 4 years, we're going to just work our asses off to get into that 16.
Doesn't take the wind out of your sails. Those emerging nations, it's
what's the point?
Motivation's gone.
Yeah, there's no way, there is no way someone that was ranked 18th is going to get in the top 10.
No.
Because at the moment, you got obviously Australia, New Zealand, England, Samoa, Tonga, Cook Islands, PNG, Fiji,
Lebanon,
and then one other. So, but there's essentially 2 spots free.
There is 2. So Australia, Samoa, New Zealand, England, Lebanon, Tonga, Fiji, PNG already qualified. So there's 2 spots.
Which would be Cook Islands and someone else that will probably make it.
Yeah.
So there's 2 spots. Places like the Netherlands are never going to beat friggin' the Cook Islands. There's plenty of players in the NRL that are Cook Islander heritage. And it's just what I don't get with it is where's the motivation now? There's no motivation.
No, there's
not. Because if you've got 16, then you've got 8 spots and you are competing against other developing nations that have no leagues or whatever. Whereas you're never going to get in that top 10. You're really never. Whereas if you get the top 16, you make the top 16, that could inspire hope, which brings on more people, which builds the game. So
it said this remaining 2 spots will be decided at I think it's International Rugby League World Series next year, contested by Cook Islands, Jamaica, South Africa, and the winner of European qualifying tournament between France, Serbia, Wales, and Ukraine.
I just all of those people. Let's say the bottom tier of the people that you just ran out, and when I say bottom tier, I mean as how good they are. What's the motivation? They're sitting there going, "There is no way we're making the top 10. There's no fucking way." Whereas if there were 16 teams, I guarantee you they're going, "Boys, we can do it." Don't get it.
Yeah, unfortunate, but
Yeah, it does suck.
I don't know. Hopefully they've done it because I know they said because of the Tyler contest. Maybe because it was a bit of a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Because it was cancelled and they had to kind of pull it together quickly. Hopefully,
Surely
who
not.
knows?
It's 2026. You'd flying over. Surely logistics
What are you
is not
saying
the
to
issue.
those nations, like you said, that you've just pretty much cut out any hopes, any inspiration to continue to try and grow the game?
What's the point?
Literally.
There's no way
For the love.
that you've got 2 teams. Cook Island, it's pretty much one spot because Cook Islands,
Yeah, we Cook Islands.
absolutely will be there. You've got one spot, and you've got about 10 different teams all going for that one spot. It's just that's I don't understand it. I'd love to know if it is the real reason of competition. That makes no sense to me because I don't. Who's sitting there going, "Oh, you know what? I'm not going to watch the World Cup anymore because these 2 teams just got pumped."
Yeah. Yeah,
What?
no.
You still get the good games. You still get Australia versus New Zealand. You still get Great Britain. You know, I don't. Doesn't make any sense there. I don't get that. I almost hope there's other reasons for it. I almost hope it's a financial thing, because the idea that it's because of competition just doesn't make any sense to me. And also, like the Cook Islands, they're still like. Anyway, it's just I don't get it. NRLW has kicked off last night. The Knights, the reigning premiers, defeating the Roosters 12-10. I tell you what, the Knights' defence, especially that first 20,
how good was it?
Outstanding. Geez, hasn't the standard has improved like
Big time.
I cannot express to you how much the standard has improved. Obviously, and you just got to get it out of the way. Just don't even think about the men's game. It's not the same as the men's game. It's never going to be the same as the men's game. That's just the way. Like, compare it to itself and compare it to other women's sport. That's the way I look at it. And geez, it has come so far in such a short amount of time. And people go, "Oh, we're competing against the Matildas." Yeah, but the best thing about the NRLW is with the Matildas, they don't have any good local leagues.
No.
If you're a chick that's like a girl growing up, and you you look at the Matildas and you go, "Oh, I'd love to play Matildas," the pathway to get there is terrible. Whereas with the rugby league, we are this close to being professional. Like, we're this close to having 10 teams as professionals, maybe all year round. Like in 3 or 4, maybe 5 years max, we genuinely might have 10 teams that are fully professional. You can't say that out of the Matildas. You got a squad of, let's just say 30, maybe less, 25 girls that are a full-time gig. That's it. Whereas in the NRL, in 5 years' time, we could have genuinely 10 top 25 squads. So that's 250 professional spots up for grabs for young women to get in such a short time.
Especially in contact sports. I feel like, female just skill-based sports, and the Olympics is a good example, but rugby league, NRLW, is sitting at the top of the ladder for like a female contact sport. But for the talent, for the skill set,
but I think like with things like with the fine motor skills, it actually suits the contact. Actually suits women better because it's very simple. Like the difference, the level of difference between men's soccer and women's soccer is bigger, in my opinion, than the level of skill level between men's rugby league and women's rugby league.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, I just think that women's rugby league, because a lot of these girls grew up playing touch footy as well, and also not even grew up, their mums played touch footy, and their mums played, and their dads played. Everyone played touch footy for generations. So the passing and everything is already pretty good. And so the contact and the wrestle, everything is just getting better. And as I said, don't compare it to the men's. Compare it to other women's sport, and you can't tell me that watching 80 minutes of women's AFL, the AFLW, is enjoyable. I don't know, whatever minutes it is. You can't tell me watching a full game of AFLW is as enjoyable as watching an NRLW game.
And also compare it to itself from the last 5 or 6 years. Like, see how much the quality's improved. Last night's game was a ripper.
Yeah, some of the contact too was great.
Yeah, that night's defense was crazy.
On the line.
Yep. Yeah. So obviously 3 minutes to go. To make it 12-6, the Knights had a penalty goal in the last 3 minutes, but then Sergio scored for the Roosters to make it 12-10. The kick was missed by Kelleher, so the Knights ended up winning the game. Thoughts on the kick, guys?
Oh yeah, it's hard to dance around it. It wasn't the hardest kick in the world. I'm not saying I would have got it, but
Nice to see that go over.
Yeah, I know. I was praying for golden point. It was a mad game.
Yeah, I mean, she was just a little bit closer. It's, a developing game. It's not that bad of a miss.
No, it's not a gimme.
Look at this. Chanel Harris-Davidas was easier.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, looking at that, I don't. Like, obviously, you want to get that. As I said, we're talking about a developing game. And also, we're talking about a situation where we're used to seeing men kick. Like, obviously, women kicking is going to be harder because they have less torque, less strength in their legs. I think she, as I said, I think she probably took it back a little bit too far. I'm just rewatching this. So she took it back to the 22. I think if she had took it back to maybe, just getting up here. Yeah, so she's on the 20, about 21. I reckon. I mean, the thing is, she had the length, but if you watch it again, if she actually has the length, yeah, if she is just a bit closer, it probably doesn't hook as like.
She doesn't have to ping it as hard.
Well, not she doesn't have to ping as hard, but if you actually watch the trajectory of the ball, it kind of hooks late and goes to the left of the post. And so if she was actually a bit closer, it would have still hooked late, but it's closer. So by the time it hooks, it might have already been through. So not too bad. I wouldn't be too harsh on it. As I said, like we're looking at a developing game, and she's what? About, what's that, the 10-metre tram line? So she's about 13 metres from the post.
Yeah.
So not too bad. I don't think the Roosters fans should be too disappointed with it.
It sucks that it come down to that, though.
Oh,
I wanted to kick it. It would have been golden point. Would have been mad.
so good. But I wouldn't. As I said, we literally just watched Chanel Harris-Tavita. And granted, I know Harris-Tavita is the third string hooker or whatever, kicker. But it's those moments though, like when you're being like, from a perspective of you want to win a premiership, you've got 9 games to do it. That's a moment where the Roosters might look back and go, "Jeez, nail that goal. We have all the momentum. Boom, we go up and win it."
Man, that the 9-round comp really adds something, because just you can't let those slip as a team.
Well, it honestly could be the difference between
Seriously.
a minor premiership. Yeah, anyway, great game, great defence. It was the first 20 minutes of defence from the Knights is what kept them in it. Southwell, she was outstanding. I guess there's going to be questions from people in regards to why she didn't get selected for New South Wales, especially when they lost the series. But she was really good. Yeah, so great. That's a great game to kick off the. I will say I did miss the bloody men's game on a Thursday night. I'm not gonna lie.
I did.
It sting me a little bit. But in saying that, as a fan, I'm willing to give that up to help.
Yeah.
I'm as a content consumer and fan of rugby league, I'm willing to go, you know what? First game of the season for them. I'll cop giving that up so that they get more exposure. The NRL race to the finals. There are 2 competitions, points between 4th and 9th. Roosters, Manly, Bulldogs, Dolphins, Cowboys, Dragons. There are then 2 points between 10th and 13th. Raiders, Broncos, South, Knights, and the Warriors just under the Knights. This Super Saturday, the Broncos versus Bulldogs, Cowboys versus Sharks, Roosters versus Manly, which have big top 4 and top 8 ramifications. Which teams do we think can make the 8, might drop out of the 8? I mean, geez, it's close. Oh. Really, like what's crazy is really the only team safe right now is Storm. Like they're genuinely pretty much can't fall out of the top 4. Like pretty much.
They've gone under the radar too.
I know, it's crazy.
Big time.
It's
like,
incredible.
Especially before last week against the Roosters. It's
wild.
Like, for example, they're on 34 points. 6th, 7th, and 8th are on 24 points. So they are locked in to the 8 no matter what. And then even top 4, the Roosters are on 26 points. Like, they literally can't fall out of it. They could nearly lose every game and they would still be like. So right now, they are 8 points ahead of the Roosters. So they would need to lose 4 of their last 6 to be equal. And the Roosters would need to win essentially every game.
Yeah.
So the only team really safe is pretty much Panthers. Panthers are at 30 points.
Yes.
But you know what? They'd still be in the top 4 because that's just to come 4th. It'd actually be even harder because Manly would have to find a way into the top 4.
Yeah.
So they're not missing the 4.
So Panthers, essentially can't drop out of the top 4, but they are on 30 points with Roosters on 26 points. So they would genuinely have to drop probably 4 from 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that won't happen.
Or even 3 from 4. Yeah, probably 4 from 6. So it's Storm and Panthers locked into the top 8. What's crazy though? Locked into top 4. What's crazy though is Sharkies aren't that far behind. They got a great run home, Sharkies. I don't think they play any top tier sides heading home, and they're on 28 points. Like I understand that, the Sea Eagles are on 25 points, and you got the Bulldogs 24 points. So let's just go on the 24 points with the Bulldogs.
The Dragons have done well to be sitting 9th.
Oh, it's crazy. But then you look at the Bulldogs, like they're 2 wins behind the Sharkies. Like I highly doubt the Sharkies are going to drop that many. I mean, maybe they could. They are missing Hines, and I'm not that convinced of them. But it's just what's crazy is if you just read the headlines and the vibe, everyone would have said the Sharkies have had a disappointing year.
Yeah.
They're friggin' 3rd. It is crazy.
It's easy to forget how well they started. They were 7-1, and the 1 was to the Tigers, that shock loss. So they banked them up very early, and just going through their run home, they got Cowboys this week, South, Titans, Knights, Dragons, Warriors, Manly. So it's a good run home.
Like you couldn't get much better than that. Like the toughest game there is probably Manly and Cowboys.
Yeah, they'll be there.
Which is very winnable for them.
Yep.
Very winnable for them. In regards to the top 8, oh geez, this is the hard one, the top 8. Because what's crazy is the Bulldogs are 6th and they're pretty heavy underdogs against the Broncos, which is pretty insane. Like you look at the Broncos and people go, oh yeah, they've had injuries and Renault's back. Even when they had a full strength side, they weren't winning every match. So
do we see a team in the under 24s breaking through?
I think
Raiders,
the Broncos
Broncos,
could.
Rabbitohs,
I think
Knights.
I don't see I don't think the Raiders. I think it's really between the Dragons and the Broncos of two teams that could sneak into the 8. But at the moment, I'm looking at the Dolphins, Bulldogs, Sea Eagles, and Cowboys form. I don't really see them dropping too many games.
No.
Dolphins were this close to beating Penrith at Penrith with essentially the same amount of injuries out. And then you look at Cowboys, they are just looking better and better. Bulldogs' defence is outstanding. And Manly Sea Eagles have gone from they might make the 8 to holy shit, they could make the top 4 if Tommy stays fit.
Big time. There's some good games this weekend because I think on Saturday alone, teams from 3 to 11, I know that doesn't sound too crazy, but because of the logjam, they're all playing each other. So the ramifications this week are pretty high.
Yeah, it'll be a good little shift after this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, for example, Bulldogs versus Broncos, that means that Broncos still have a game in hand, so they should be on 22 points. If they beat the Bulldogs, they'll be on 24 points with the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs are currently sitting 6.
Yeah, they need
so
Broncos,
close.
man.
And also, points differential, the Bulldogs have 63, plus, and the Broncos are on 25. If the Broncos have a big win, like a 30-6 win or something, all of a sudden they're actually ahead of the Bulldogs. If it's a huge win from the Broncos, you're looking at a 4-point swing where
They're the
all
only
of a sudden
one down there with a positive for and against.
Yeah, they're the only one in the bottom 8 with a positive for and against. But yeah, if they have a huge win, all of a sudden the Bulldogs are in this position of the Broncos, which is fucking mental.
Do you think the Doggies could upset them?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't get why the Broncos are such red hot favourites. I don't. $3.30 the Bulldogs are paying. The Bulldogs are 6. The Broncos have had a full strength side and they don't beat everyone. I don't understand this idea that the Broncos, for example, the Knights were not good last week. The Broncos were scrappy as. It was just the fact that they've just got on paper this crazy side that can score points. I'm tipping the Broncos, but $3.30 for me is way that's juicy as.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. I think I took Dogs with the start. I can't remember if I did on Monday or not, but yeah,
3.30.
They're the best 3:30 team I've seen in a
Anyone
while.
out for the Dogs?
I don't think so.
3:30 is crazy.
3.30. They're the ones in 6th place. The Broncos are 10th,
And they're in 6th place because of their defense.
Yeah. So, and that's the one thing that may frustrate the Broncos.
Yeah.
Because the Broncos could go out and make 1,000 errors.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's going to be a cracking game. Dolphins, as I said, very close to winning against the Penrith last week. Manly's the other dark horse for me.
Yeah.
Tom Trbojevic, if he stays fit and plays like this, holy.
I reckon Manly are going to go strength to strength.
It's and DC is 7 as well. You literally can't get much better in your 7. They seem to have sorted their forwards out. Nathan Brown's been outstanding. Jake Trbojevic seems to have his sort. Nathan Brown seems to be the kind of ball player when he comes on. So Jake Trbojevic plays more of a front row kind of role.
Yeah. I think Paseka's playing really well.
Yep, Paseka's been great.
I like Manly.
I think Manly are looking good. They're looking good.
I'm hoping Dolphins stay in the A, just a little smoky for the finals.
That'd be fun. And really, how the NRL will do backflips if the Dolphins make the 8 in their second year.
Oh, far out.
Yeah.
Far out. It's such a good year. As I said, the only really 2 teams that are safe are your Panthers and your Storm. Everyone else out of that, things can change quickly. You look at the Roosters, obviously, they got a game in hand, so they actually should be on 28 points, which is the same as the Sharks. So technically, the Roosters should be in 3rd place with their points differential. The Roosters have the best points differential of any team.
By a long way.
Yeah, they've easily got the best attack, and yeah, they're so good. It's good because I remember last year. I don't know if maybe it's a bit early this time last year, but certainly heading into the finals, everyone was kind of like, all right, it's Penrith or it's Brisbane. But now, even though Storm was super impressive last week, no one's really sold on one or two teams. Like, and if they are, it kind of changes week to week. The competition's wide open.
And also, Manly are playing Roosters this week. That's another 4-point turnaround.
For sure.
And Manly are $3, which I think is a bit much, as in, like, that's juicy. I think the Storm's victory over the Roosters last week was just the biggest warning shot.
It was, yeah.
But I would still have, right now, I'd have Storm, Panthers, Roosters as the premiership heavyweights. And then I'd have Seagulls.
Yeah, Smokey, 100%.
I'd have Seagulls.
Usually when the Storm are at the top of the table, 34 points, you're looking at them going, it's a lock, they're going to win the premiership. But they're just so under the radar. I can't believe it.
Like, even like when they beat the Tigers the other day, like, they let Tigers score 28 points.
Yeah.
But they still scored 4. It's just not the Melbourne we know. But then when they need to against the Roosters, boom.
Yeah, that erased everything for me. What they did to the Roosters, any concern I had about their defence or being able to step up in the big moments, granted, and I'm being Storm fans, I'm being super critical here. Doesn't mean I believe this, but this is a theory. They could be peaking too early. They could be peaking too early. We have seen the Storm get to this part of the season and just be like fucking flying. They get to finals footy, and I'm talking about the recent Storm. They get to finals footy and they get bounced out in straight sets. So there is a theory that they peak really early. Remember the year where they had a record amount of points scored in that?
And no one remembers because the grand final was Penrith Rabbitohs, but that was Melbourne's year.
That was Melbourne. Melbourne was like guaranteed to win it. They got bounced out, like lost. I think just lost. I'm pretty sure.
I think they
lost one, lost.
They won week 1, got a break, and then Penrith just upset him in the prelim.
Yeah. And I think they just didn't play well in the prelim as well.
No, it was a bad game for them.
It was a bad game for them. So, mate, what a year. What a year.
Yeah, it's so good. It's wide open.
All right, tips, boys. Warriors, Tigers.
Warriors.
Panthers, Storm. It's Para Storm.
There we go.
I wish it was Panthers Storm. That'd be great. Storm.
Broncos, Dogs.
Bronx, but so keen.
I'm going to go Dogs.
Nice.
Righty. Cowboys, Sharkies.
Sharks.
Cowboys.
Roosters, Seagulls.
Keen. Roosters.
Eagles.
Dragons, Panthers.
Panthers. But I hope Dragons show up. Apparently it's almost sold out down in Wollongong.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Dolphins, Titans.
I'm going Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Raiders, Rabbitohs.
South.
There you have it. Don't forget, guys, the green and gold shirts available on bloke.shop. About 40 of them left. And also the hats, if they're not already gone, head to bloke.shop. Make sure to grab some. Make sure to grab a case of Bloke beer. Give us a follow on our Sportsbet feed. We'll have the Bloke in a Bar multi up ready to go for you to copy. Anything else, boys? Make sure to visit Grouse Hill Air Locker.
Yeah, Grouse Hill. Check out your local air locker. Get around it. We've got a new program block coming up.
Okay.
Bit of cheeky bench press and some deadlifts is our movements that we're focusing on, bro. So.
Okay, get into your local air locker. Give her a follow on the Instagram, all that good stuff. And as usual, we'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.